What's up, it's your boy Greg2G, and today in this video I'm going to show you how to carry a Void Rift. And it all starts right here. Once it pops up with your teammates, make sure you note who's your healer, Benediction, and who is your tank, Darkrai. So write that down. I always write that down. I'll put Mark as healer and Dark as tank. But for the rest of this video I'm going to have different teammates because I forgot to record this part. So I just joined this one just to show this screen in particular. Alright, so now that you have noted who your tank and healer is, you get started with the Void Rift. So at the start of the Void Rift, you don't have to go as a team. It's actually best if you split up. So split up, go to wherever you see the most of these pyramids as fast as you can. I don't see any pyramids right here, so I continue, and I see 2, 3 right here, and a couple on the ground. So you go pick up the ones on the ground, and then you want to kill the ones with pyramids on their heads, and they'll drop some pyramid buffs on the ground too. So yeah, every one of these pyramids you get gives you a buff. And as a carry, you want to get as many as possible because you're going to assume that your teammates don't really know what they're doing and don't know what to do with the buffs. So try to get all of the pyramids you can as a carry, and then you will distribute them to your teammates later and figure out which ones you give to your tank, which is why we noted that right at the beginning, who is the tank and who is the healer. Because as you can see on this screen right here, if you look over to the right side, you can't really tell by looking at the names, like who's the healer again, who's the tank. It would be nice if it showed you in the game. Maybe it does, and I just don't know where to see that. But the only way I know to note that is right at the beginning when it pops up with the queue. So anyway, run around and try to collect as much of these buffs as possible. Alright, we're going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Not that much, just a little bit. So, you see I find all the buffs as soon as possible. Usually I actually try to go for high ground first, because when you get to the high ground, you can look down and you can easily see how many buffs are, below you and that sort of thing. So you can climb up. There is verticality in the Void Rifts. And as you saw right there, I saw a buff on the roof of this building. So those are some of the buffs that people often forget, is that on the rooftops there are oftentimes buffs as well. And yeah, just go ahead and look around everywhere, climb around everywhere, and search and search and search until you find as many buffs as you can. So at this point, I don't really see many buffs, any enemies or anything like that. So I go ahead, I see I have 12 buffs, and I decide to start giving out the buffs. So Poet, that's the healing buff. I noted that Hinaku is my healer, so I send him all the Poet buffs. And then for the rest of these, well, the warrior buff, we definitely want to give that to our tank, which is Pita, actually. Even though the other guy had 2 of them, I'm going to give it to Pita because he's supposed to be the tank. Now for the rest of these buffs, you just want to give it to somebody who needs it, who already has 2. So if I give 1 to Pita, he gets his wish activated. As you can see down here, upon gaining a 3 stack of any buff, you will increase all your allies' HP and attack by 25%. So that's huge. So you want everybody in your party to have a wish buff. And stupid media player won't let me actually go and use my mouse to point that out, but it's down there. Go ahead and look at who has. Okay, that guy had 1 of those. I have 2 of those. I don't use Volt, so I went ahead and gave him that. So I do use Frost, so I do kind of hesitate about giving that buff out. I look up at the top and I see there's still 3 buffs that are not yet discovered. We still have plenty of time. We have 11 minutes. This is a timed event, by the way. 11 minutes, or I think it's starts with 15 minutes. So you do want to rush and do this as soon as possible. You do not have to get every single buff in order to proceed. As you can see, that's by this blinking on the top right, we already have all the keys. We can go and challenge the boss already. My team might already actually be fighting the boss. I have no idea. So I'm gonna go and look for the rest of these buffs, even if they are fighting the boss, because we still have plenty of time anyway. So at this point, I do go ahead and check my map to see if they are fighting the boss. I see that they're all here on the map still, so they're not fighting the boss. I find another tank buff, which is great. I'll give that to my tank in a moment. Yep, give that to Pita there, and hope that Yuki gives Pita one of his tank buffs. And then I see another buff right here. Go ahead and take this guy down as quickly as I can. get another frost buff. And then, as I noted earlier, I do use frost, I do use Meryl a lot, but if I'm getting 20% frost damage, that's not so great. But if I can give this to one of my teammates, I can get 25% to all my damage, so 25% to my physical and 25% to my frost. So some people might think, oh, I want to hold on to this because maybe I have Meryl or somebody, and I'm going to hold on to this because I want my 20% frost damage. But no, you should give this to your teammate so you can get 25% frost damage and 25% to the rest of your weapons. So I go ahead and give that to Hanako. He's the only one who didn't have a wish activated. So now we all have wish activated, and we get at least, I'm not sure if it goes up to 75% or 100%, because the way it is worded, let's go back for a moment to the wish. It says, upon gaining a 3-stack, increase all allies' HP and attack by 25%. So I don't know if your own wish increases your HP and attack. So you're getting at least 75% from all of your allies, maybe 100% if it actually affects yourself. Still, that's a huge buff. So you definitely want to have everybody with a wish activated before you go into the boss. So I went ahead and carried. I basically made sure everybody had wish activation. I'm not sure if my teammates actually even gave out any buffs at all. I got lucky though, since I am a physical attack primary. I got very lucky that I did get the 3 physical attack buffs. In some of these Void Rifts, you might end up not getting the ones that you need for your own build, but it's like, honestly, just don't worry about it. Just make sure everybody gets a wish, because that's more powerful anyway. So as you can see from all these wish buffs, we're dealing up a lot more damage than we normally would. We're also being able to tank a lot more damage with the 75% HP bonus, and this boss goes down quickly and easily. So that's how you carry a Void Rift. Yeah, I hope a lot of people watch this video, because it does seem like I get a lot of groups. I've been in a lot of failed Void Rifts, a lot of groups with people that actually know what to do, like as far as pick up the buffs, and they pick up the buffs, but they don't actually give them out. They don't look at the wish status of the other players. We go into the boss with maybe only 1 or 2 wish activations, and yeah, that never ends. Usually doesn't end well. So I hope you enjoyed that little guide for how to carry a Void Rift. Enjoy your Void Rifts, and make sure your teammates get their wish buffs. Peace out. GG's. We'll see you in the next video.